at your next live broadcast. So, first of all, we have a free guide. It's a planning guide. So you can go to streamgeeks.us/planning and you can download our whole checklist. We have 4 pages of tips that actually came from our users in the Facebook user group. So I want to thank Scott Pienta, JP Erbricella, Ted Langdell, Sheldon Hatch, and Ken Benedict, among the others, who really helped us out in creating this list.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have such informed and experienced user group members and viewers because they so often help us out with some of this stuff, which is why this is perfect timing since we're doing some planning for some streaming events this summer. We wanted to get your guys' input and share with you our experiences in the past.
So, today's show, we are going to be showing you how to plan for an on-location live stream. Also, we have a streaming checklist I mentioned. This is complete. We have our checklist, but you can customize it because everyone's streaming setup is different. So here's our checklist. You can download it and you can change it in Google Slides or Google or Microsoft Word. Pretty Good Fest is July 14th. This is a music festival that we've live streamed. This will be the 4th year. Tessa's first year was last year. Every year we get better. Last year we had a behind the scenes camera with the drummer, and this year we're going to do it even better. And I mentioned it on our show before, we're going to add networking to the setup, which is going to be crucial. Also, I want to mention that the PTZ Optics OBS, Mac, and Window apps are still in beta, but we're very close to releasing a 0.999 beta, but we're still looking for your feedback. So if you want to be a beta tester, join our Facebook user group and request to be a beta user because we need you guys to help us. And then finally, I know some of you out there have been asking about RTSP streaming into OBS and then also having pan tilt zoom control with the new plugin. A video is being posted on PTZ Optics today to review how all of that works. Finally, the OBS plugin, we mentioned that. We're looking for you guys as beta testers.
Special reminder for you guys, Streaming Awards voting is now open. We need you guys to go vote for your favorite streamers at streamingawards.com. You may or may have not noticed we saw some buzz in the user group. The Facebook Live was down this weekend. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. Also, special shout out, hello, thank you for Clifford sharing this Instagram post of our cameras being used in a sweet studio setup. Thank you, Clifford, for sharing that. Continue to share your stuff with us in the user group because we love seeing it and sharing on the live show. Here's a quick view of who is in the lead with the Streaming Awards voting. Let's see, are your favorites in the top 10? Let us know in the chat if one of your favorites is in the top 10. And be sure to continue voting because voting is going to be open until the week of the Streaming Awards.
Yes, Griswold Elementary School, Uncle Ebo. I want to do a quick couple shout outs. We've got Alpha Live, we've got Karen Glasser, we have Palmetto High School Sports, Stephen Haley, the 12th End Sports Network, LDC TV, Krishna D, and Tom Sinclair, all in the top 10. But it's still up for grabs, guys. Last year we had over 2,000 votes for the winner, so it's anybody's game. Congratulations to the first place, which is the Griswold High School. So all of this and more, guys, is going to be coming up next. So don't leave your seat. We are going to give you guys some great stuff coming soon. We didn't leave our seats either for that intro.
No, we didn't. If you couldn't tell, we were behind here. Special shout out. Let's just see who's with us today. Kyle R. Chong, Daniel Wright, Zoli TV, Jason Joliffe, Jimmy, and John. Thank you guys for joining us today.
So happy to have you all. Hey, Petra. Ken. Hi, Ken. So, again, thank you. And Ken's actually here, Ken Benedict. Thank you so much for all of the tips that you've given us today. We have a presentation to go over, and it's really going to be eye-opening. But let's start with a quick video of Tess and I went out for another on-site live stream with Michael.
I'm excited to see this one.
And this is funny. It's really a little bit humorous, but also gives you an idea of what it takes to get out there and bring all the tech that you have in your studio out into the real world. What's up guys, Paul here, and we just finished our test footage of the 12X, 20X, and 30X PTZ Optics cameras. Came to a beautiful little park here in West Goshen where we found power, and we put in our PTZ Optics producer kit. We've got our joystick controller, we have our 4-port SDI box, our Intel NUC Skull Canyon, a couple monitors, and we were able to get some really great test footage showing you guys the cameras fully zoomed in, the 30X at 63 feet, the 20X at roughly 43 feet, and the 12X at 21 feet. That's what gives you that nice head and shoulder shot that we know a lot of our customers love. So let's check out that test footage and take you on a little journey.
Taking an Insta story of you, taking video footage of me.
Beautiful day, going to a beautiful park to get test footage for the PTZ Optics cameras.
30X test footage, you guys are gonna like it, and we're so excited.
Our usual like outdoor.
Here's the
ball
real
on the shelf.
question, which one is the cheapest?
It would be that one.
Then that's
like,
what we want, Paul.
Okay.
All right, fine. It's just for like a video shoot.
Such an embarrassment, seriously.
All right, you get the pink one. They're $4. It's the same price as the Nike ones. Might as well get the Nike ones. I'll get blue for PTZ Optics. All right, we're good to go. Tess, you need your headband in case you break the sweat.
Oh my God, look.
All right, so change of plans. We were gonna put the equipment here and have Tess and I on the stage over down there, but there's no power out here. So there seems to be power outlets, a ton over there at the stage. Of course, no one from the West Goshen Township knows we're doing this. Probably could have asked.
Rebels.
It's okay. Live streaming Rebels Guide 101. Adapt to your settings. So there's power down there. We're gonna set up down there, and then these out here will be our markers for how far we are away. Tess is gonna look for a hidden outlet in the grass, but I doubt it'll be there. So these will be, we can measure these out and decide exactly how far we are from the camera for our test footage. So I think it's gonna still work pretty well. We gotta go test to see if we have power. This power strip will tell us if the light turns on. Go to power. Ding, 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 ding. We have power.
Is that scary?
No.
No? It was scary.
What was scary?
When I just gave the mean face.
Oh, I didn't know that was, is that your mean face?
It was like... Ah! So close. Oh God, I'm embarrassed now.
Playing some ball, some b-ball.
What? We put tape over.
This is PTZ Optics 30X test footage. Action.
Wow,
All
great
right.
job on that one, Michael. I had not seen
good,
that.
nice editing on that
I
one.
had not seen that full cut, and I'm a little
Wow,
embarrassed.
Tess, I haven't
but
seen
it
that in a while.
was fun. Oh my gosh, really?
What is that? What is that? Swish? Swish. I haven't heard that one in a long time. We didn't actually play basketball. That was going to be one of our goals. Everything changes when you get out in the field. And I think we
point.
kind of relate to the feeling where we were like, okay, like, where's our power source? Okay, does it actually work? What does the camera's going to look like in this setting? So just a couple things there, and we have a presentation to go over everything. So let's jump into that presentation. And I think setting the stage there, I think we set the stage well for what it's like to get out of the studio and get into these places.
With a bunch of goofballs.
So 10 tips, and these tips are meaty. Tip number 1 is planning.
Ooh, that's a big planning.
All about the
Seriously.
planning. This is where most of your time should be spent. And the first thing starts with the site survey. Scott Pienta said, why not just go on Google Earth?
I love that idea, especially if you're far away from the location. Be able to get the layout of where things might be, where the stage is, where you will be as the streamer.
JP Erbricella was saying, draw a map, start at the camera lens, and go all the way back to the stream. So circle where all the connections are, double check all your cables and your connectors, and make sure every element is covered from the tripod to the cables to the power supplies and to the stands. So he also suggests to do the same exact thing for audio. So start with video, then do a separate map for audio because it really is a second beast. And then create a checklist and strike out each component as it's being packed. So on our next slide here, you'll see that you can download our checklist plus a blank checklist that's kind of started for you so you can create your own template at streamgeeks.us/planning.
I'll put that in the chat for you guys too.
Another thing to think about during the planning stage is power. So don't forget to get a clean source of power,
Don't forget to get the
potentially
power.
independent of lighting and sound. Ken Benedict gave us a really great one on the next slide here. Here's creating the map, and this is an example of the map. The next one is getting everything from your software and your show together. Intros, outros, titles. This is the layout last year, Tess, and this was kind of interesting the way we did this. We had a jam cam for like the person who's like soloing and jamming, and then we had a secondary cam for like the wide shot.
And don't forget about the behind the drummer cam.
And the behind the drummer cam, which we
is
actually
our favorite one.
It was a fan favorite. But Ken was saying with cabling, here's power, and then cabling, when you go 50 feet or beyond, think about getting one of those cable reels so you can just reel it up and roll it out. And it makes setup and breakdown so much easier.
Especially breakdown when you're trying to get out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to fish it on.
It's so smart.
in.
So thank you for that, Ken. That was a great idea. And then weather, we had a couple of people telling us about what they do for weather conditions. Bring some extra trash bags and tarps and just throw them over the valuable equipment if it starts to rain. Something that you don't want to forget. This is what we packed last year. That's our bag of goodies that we packed.
Box of goodies.
A box of goodies. And then Ken also threw in there that he uses gaff tape to tape down all the cables so they don't get pulled out of place. And then in high traffic areas, he tapes down everything in yellow tape so that it's very easy for people to know, okay, don't kick that or run over it. Then one I threw in there was running over the show talent as well. So run through the whole show with your audience and see if anything comes up. Make sure everyone's on the same page.
Keep that communication open there. That leads us to number 2 on the planning tip list, tuning your equipment. Lights, cameras, action, all that good stuff. So basically, before you even start tuning your camera, figure out what the lighting is going to be. What lighting is going to be accessible to you, and is that lighting going to bless you? Change during the middle of the show can be really tricky. So just make sure that you have all of your lights prepared and tuned to exactly the settings that you're going to want them to be. So they're ready for action. And then moving on to the camera, you're going to want to go to the location, have some sort of testing time and space at the location to tune your cameras to what they are going to be in the exact lighting setting that's going to be during the event, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. So you hit the nail on the head there. Lights, cameras, then, of course, audio.
And write it all down.
Yes.
Like your camera settings, whatever you have your exposure set to during the testing and whatnot. Make sure that you write it all down so you can just go bing, bam, boom, and put it all back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you're going to want to get what's called the perfect exposure from your cameras, and then you're going to want to color match cameras from different angles. We have some tutorials on that already. It has to do with white balancing, obviously focus, but also a lot of stuff. We're kind of breezing through this presentation. This whole presentation is available for download.
Yeah, we mentioned microphones too.
Mm-hmm.
So the audio is good. Make sure that you have 2 mixers. Because that has happened to us before where we brought one mixer, it was not working. It's good to have 2 of everything. There, thank you for putting that up there, Michael. And test the audio levels that you're going to have for all of your talent. And if you're bringing green screens, make sure that you prepare your chroma keys for what they're going to need to be and the lighting that will also need to be implemented for that as well.
Here's a good one is check the hard drive. And I can't tell you how many people I've heard who forgot to record. And the reason why is because you do all this work, you're not thinking about recording, and it's nice to record a local file on your computer higher quality than what's being streamed. And I always forget to hit the record button.
Yep.
Every time. And so just hit the record button 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early before the pressure of going live is there. And then who cares if you got an extra 15 minutes? You can trim that off later, but it's better to start early. And make sure you have enough space on your hard drive for the whole show.
Absolutely. And a lot of times clients ask for recordings of the performances or whatever the event was,
Oh, totally.
prior to.
Yeah, and you don't want to download that from YouTube and give them, a poor quality
Mhm.
stream. Even though the quality is still good when you stream these days, the high quality recording is always better.
Yeah. That moves us on to tip number 4, testing bandwidth, making sure that you have proper bandwidth for the event. We have a bandwidth test tool at speed.ptzoptics.com, so you can check your upload speed. So what was the example that we used when we were talking earlier? If you had 10
Yes. Let's
megabits?
imagine you have 10 megabits up. So the tool at speed.ptzoptics.com, that's a really great tool because we own a server in Scottsdale, Arizona for GoDaddy. What you can do is you can just basically ping it and we'll tell you your upload speed and your download speed. A lot more accurate than what I've seen like speedtest.org, which just shows you what the overall speed is for what your router should have. This is really giving you a real speed test to a content delivery network. And so if you have 10 megabits up, don't use all 10. Leave like 40 to 60% headroom. I say 25 to 50%. So if you've got 10, only use 5 because things fluctuate, things change. You don't want to be maxing it out.
We're giving a lot of freebies today, but we also want to offer up a bandwidth streaming checklist that we do have on ptzoptics.com/landing/live-streaming.html. That is a lot.
I know.
I can post that in the user group after
I've started
today's
to keep
show.
those a little lower.
I'll put it in the user group after today's show. So go to facebook.com groups, PTZ Optics Pals, and I'll get that to you after this if you're interested in the bandwidth checklist. Determine the maximum capabilities of your system and choose a corresponding video resolution to stream at.
And don't use Wi-Fi. Do not
Don't use
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Bring a backup
away.
if you can. 4G or 5G router like the LiveView Solo that you often see us use. Make sure that there's no firewalls blocking you. If you're not familiar with the venue, make sure you get in touch with their tech specialist to make sure that there's a dedicated network for you to stream on, or at least one that's not blocked with a bunch of different firewalls and whatnot.
Yes. Now, there's no reason why you shouldn't be starting your stream early. 20 to 30 minutes is a good standard. Once you've started your stream and you're streaming to YouTube or Facebook, they give you a preview screen, which is great. You can plug in another laptop, listen to it, make sure everything coming from your system is going to YouTube and Facebook properly. This way, you can make sure everything's good before you start streaming, but also have a streaming soon countdown timer to let people get on and organized
For
and ready.
events especially.
Especially
I do
for
think
live
that the
events.
counter can be really helpful with that.
Another thing to consider, which we haven't been doing much of, but your CDNs, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or other ones, have what's called an API. And if you use the API, it includes geolocation and tagging, and you could show up on the Facebook Live map, which can draw even more attention to your stream. So consider using the APIs. Even though if you use a Facebook API, you can only stream to Facebook, it might be worth it.
That's something we've been thinking about a lot lately. Moving on to number 6. Social media integration, one of my favorite parts. Learn about what's available to you. There's a lot of resources with live streaming that comes along with social media. People are there because they want to interact. Live streaming is all about interaction with your audience. Things like chat overlays. vMix offers this. Wirecast offers some version of this. Twitch offers versions of this with their extensions. Also, what was the one that you were telling me about earlier?
Well, there's the social media ingest of the comments, but then there's also recording clips and having them go to Dropbox. There's a service called Zapier, which will take any file in a Dropbox folder and publish it to Twitter or Facebook, so that you could drive even more traffic to your live stream by posting,
During the stream.
the touchdown during the football game, or
Awesome.
little clips that you're allowed to post during the stream and drive even more traffic.
Yeah, there's things like Facebook Live reactions, voting
Mhm.
systems. I mean, it's really it's more is coming. It's really endless options there. Number 7.
Final testing. And then don't forget to test again. There are some things that you can't test until everything else has already been done. So test again. Audio syncing issues are a big one. Make sure everything's synced properly. Just go ahead and do a whole nother test. During the stream, always keep your eye on the CPU usage. You never want to go over like 50 to 75%. if you do, you might need to cut one of your streams.
Ooh, yeah,
Or
we've
stop
got that
recording.
message before, so that could be pretty scary, especially if you're being paid to do
Oh my
the stream.
gosh. Yeah.
Then it's like,
Cut something
yeah.
because you shouldn't have other programs running. And also listen to your audience. Is your audience asking for that behind the scenes camera? Do they really love that drummer cam? Are they asking for something to do with audio? They will tell you what they want to see. And if your whole chat room is asking to see the behind the scenes camera, you should switch to it.
Your audience is your best asset, seriously. Make sure you're listening to them. We do our best with that. Don't get mad at us, guys.
Quick thing on channel management. So you've already started streaming, everything's going well, you're listening to your audience. But one of the things to think about is potentially use your chat room channel blacklist. And what I mean by that is on YouTube and Facebook and different places, you can have restricted keywords. So people can't say bad words or negative words. You can even have a channel moderator. So think about having someone that you know or trust moderate the chat room and kick out people who are trolling and posting spam and different things in the chat room.
I wonder if there's ever a service like that for co-hosts.
Oh, no, Taz, no.
It would just be like a muzzle.
I don't know if that would be
God.
a service, but
Final tip.
final tips. Don't forget to share your show on social media. Don't forget to save time for Q&A.
Schedule the show
Schedule the
ahead
show.
of time so you can share it out before the event actually happens. Make sure you find a way to get the link to it so you can share it with family, friends, and email attendees.
And then
email
finally,
addresses.
you're doing all of this work. Are there any business goals that you need to achieve? Is there a call to action that you need to include? Is there a free ebook or an upcoming webinar, or you want them to download the music from the artist, drive the traffic somewhere at the end of the day? That's our show. We're going to switch to Twitch. We try to keep these shows informative, fun, and full packed with energy. Thank you so much for everyone who's been watching live, and we will continue the conversation, have a really fun trivia and giveaway on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/sgeeks.
All right, guys, we're headed over to twitch.tv/sgeeks. I will put that in the chat to make it as easy as possible for you guys. And don't forget to head to streamgeeks.us/planning for the checklist and presentation we did today.
See you guys soon.
That means extra, extra.